I haven't been working out for a minute because of distractions, and today I'm distracted by the fact that I am so hurt by this demonic attack. My body's inebriated and what have you. But you know what? I'm gonna push myself. Because it's rubbish. I have to find a way to live. I have to find a way to survive, to keep my head above water. Please go check out the previous part to gauge your bearings. In the previous part, I was talking about abusive men with their Hannibal Lecter constitution, mocking Clarice, a naughty girl, trying to marry her by force, and if she doesn't, then she's gonna take herself dancing. She's gonna hold her own hand. It's okay, let the chick hold her own hand, rather than marry a psychopath. So y'all know I've got skin issues. I'm here to explain in the second part just what are the potential ramifications of settling or eventually capitulating to darkness because you're lonely, or you know, like you are struggling, or you are scared, or you don't trust God, whatever might be the reason, and you accommodate somebody that you know is absolutely just satani, but he has promised you the world. He has promised you the world. A man does not even have to slap you. He doesn't have to be abusive to abuse you. If at all you're dealing with a man that has put korobela on you, you eventually capitulate, and this dude has made sure that you can't get a job, you can't move left or right, you can't go up or down, you can't do anything. The pain of my life is the fact that I do so much work, and frankly I believe it's excellent, and it goes nowhere. I work like a dog for what it appears to be mahala. Yeah, that's what's good. And every so often it gets to me, it eats me alive. I'm also encircled by people who treat me like a substandard citizen, and I don't know what's going on because they know I'm actually really good. Yeah, my older sister likes to pride herself in the fact that she's got many degrees, while none of us, me and my younger sister, don't have degrees. She says that she's different from us because she's educated. It was because of her that I lost everything, including my degree. Her and many other people. So they conveniently neglect to remember their part in a person's squalor or struggle, these witches. They will pull the rug from under your feet and then tease you for the thing you lack. So when you're dealing with people like those, you can either shake in your pants and eventually capitulate. You can go out of your way to allow some man to marry you out of this family like a Cinderella. And so basically, you give the middle finger to your sister who is talking about you as like some university dropout when all you were left with is one module to graduate. And so highly unlikely to just suddenly drop out. Therefore, there were obviously circumstances extenuating in that environment that caused that eventuality. But those are for all facts that are disregarded. So I could just go into the sunset with some dude, one of the many, that I've slept Mika Korobel. On some garbo, let me take you, and as I'm leaving, literally make like Constantine in the movie Constantine and give my older sister a middle finger because now I'm profane. Over and above it, I'm thoroughly God. I'm quiff-currenting God. I'm giving him a cold shoulder. On some, you've ignored me. So I'll let one of these random fools take me. If, for instance, the guy from MTN rocked up and I was the one that I spoke about yesterday, and I was like, fine, I'll take you since you love me. Only because he's unlike the beast in America. The dude in America is a man that he's thoroughly like a Hannibal Lecter. Scared out of my mind from that guy. If I were to see him physically right now, I would, before I would scream, I think my reflex would be to grab something and throw it at him to basically defend myself because he is a murderer. I am scared of him, and I am nervous that he would actually kill me. He is incontinent, and he has it in his blood. It is generational. His mother murdered her husband. His own dad died from murder. There's just a whole bunch of criminality in that family. And so, really and truly, when you're dealing with a man that much, on top of it, he's demon-possessed, on top of that, he keeps on dabbling with the darkness, on top of that, that's somebody that if he is in your grill, you would not hesitate to shoot. Kind of person that you need a restraining order from. That's what's good. That's the guy from the US. Yeah, but not all people into witchcraft are as psychopathic as that guy. They're not the kind of person that would cause you to get a restraining order, first of all. And secondly, if he's around, you would be legally allowed by your country to just unleash a bullet in his skull. Otherwise, it would be you on the floor. Not every man in the occult is like that. There are some that would never lay a hand on a woman. They'd never slap her. They would never roll you underneath a car, drag you underneath it. They would never unleash live rounds on you. They would never hang you on a tree 8 months pregnant like Tsehofatsopule. They would never do that. But they are expert psychological manipulators. What would be the tantamount of violent sufferers of narcissistic personality disorder, struggling you through like an exorbitant amount of gaslighting. And these people would be so well liked and so well respected by society that all of your complaints and qualms about him would land on deaf ears because everybody would imagine as the problem in this equation because nobody else seems to think he's an issue. Having been a Cinderella that was picked up from the street like, scraps, you are going to look ungrateful to a man that will have put you up in a house, You are going to look ungrateful to a man that would have given you basically a much better life than what it is that he picked you up out of and basically elevated you. And so when you complain, you're just going to look like, oh my goodness, this woman. I see why she was struggling before. Hannah Dingy. She's ungrateful. She's an ingrate. That's what a narcissistic guy is like. A man suffering from narcissistic personality disorder will turn the whole world against you, gaslight you, cause you to second guess your own reality, and then make you feel like you're ungrateful whenever you complain. And so you would be put in your place. He would discipline you the way that a child is disciplined. Every so often you ground her or him. Every so often you take away his or her phone. Every so often you cut the allowance for a week. You know, the way that a parent would indeed deal with a child that is disrespectful. That's how a man would be dealing with a grown woman. If at all he has taken you out from an environment where you were struggling, you could not even afford to buy a single thing for yourself, and now he's providing for you, he will then use all that which you need against you. Basically the same way that a parent would take a child's phone away, except you're a whole grown woman. A whole grown woman. That's how other men abuse women. They don't put bruises on their bodies. They just put bruises in their hearts. They put bruises in their psyche. They make them suffer from PTSD. They cause them to shrink, shrivel up inside. They suffer from something called trauma bonding. Trauma bonding and anxious ambivalence as an attachment style to this guy. They're on and off with him. However, they're sticking around because they feel as if though they ought be grateful for everything that he has done for her. Whenever they think even about raising for all of 5 seconds an issue, they don't, because they are like, Arawa, don't be ungrateful. Before this, you had nothing. What the heck? I'm sorry. I was so used to being independent and taking care of myself. For me to be in a union of that nature, I remember when I was in the kitchen saying to myself that I am not about to go and marry my mother. My mom is a miser. Do you understand? She gives me 500 megabucks a month. She's stingy in the worst way. Been suffering with my mom's stinginess all my life. And I found freedom from it finally when I was independent back in the day, when I had my own career. And then I got thrown back into my mom's miserly hands. I was like, I'm not about to go and marry my mom. A person that's going to be freaking rationing my portions, for crying out loud. A person that's going to inordinately punish me when I have done nothing wrong. A person that is going to withhold from me everything I need and tell me that you will go next month to get what you need, because right now I don't have money for that. Like, I got a prescription for tretinoin from the doctor. Yeah, 500 rand. And she told me that at the end of the month when she gives me 500 bucks, I will go and get that prescription. What about my cinnamon? What about my turmeric? What about my fenugreek? What about everything else that I need? You're gonna have to choose, I guess. Pick what you want to get. So essentially at this point, I will never be able to get my tretinoin prescription. I will never be able to get my tretinoin prescription. Now, allow me to help you understand how bad a situation you will be in as a woman that is married to a man that has got narcissistic personality disorder, that is also jealous of you, which is what I'm struggling with right now. The guy from America was green, like dark pitch green, with jealousy over my godliness, over my just mannerisms, the whole full thing that I am. He was jealous from what the Lord showed me. And he kept on telling me, this guy's jealous, get out. Because you cannot marry a man that is jealous of you. A man that's jealous of you, I don't have to tell you really. Just look at Ike Turner, where his woman had more talent than him. And he ended up just laying his hand on her. A man like that will withhold compliments. A man like that will refuse to validate you. A man like that will deliberately sabotage everything you try to do. Because they're competing with you, they're a little girl. Like another girl in the school playground. They will compete with you. Almost like yeah, indeed, like women competing over, my hair is longer than yours. My dress is more beautiful than yours. At the matric dance, it's like, ooh, I'm the one that's going to be the queen. I got my cover. You know how girls are so petty with their jealousy. Everything, my makeup and my face beat is better than yours. My everything is better than yours. My everything is better than yours. My everything is better. That's girls who are jealous. And when a friend is jealous, they've got backhanded compliments all up in your grill, or they are not altogether very observably so. When you get what you want in life, when you get a promotion, instead of saying congratulations, they will say you're gonna miss your old job because there's like a lot of hard work. Could you just not say congratulations? That's a jealous girl for you. Now, when a man is jealous, he will act like a girl. He will act like a girl. He will give you grief over your face beat. He will give you grief over your hairstyle. He will not praise you. You will lose weight. He will act like he doesn't see. He will, yes, like it, guys, women need validation from their men. Women need praise from the men. Women need men to keep saying, baby, you're beautiful. Women need men to say, baby, you're doing really well. Women need validation from men. It is the curse of Eve. From now on, our desire will be for our husbands. And so if your husband is withholding that, if your boyfriend, whatever, is withholding that praise, that is just a starvation in your grill. We need validation in a way that men a lot of times don't even need it, because their curse is to rule us, whereas our curse is for them to lord it over. No, sorry, is for us to want them, long for them. And so we will always be desperate for their approval. And if a man just refuses to give you his approval, you're going to be this unpraised wife. You're going to feel ugly at every turn. My dad was jealous of my mom. When she was heavily pregnant with both of us, my older sister and I, he teased her for being fat. He basically called her, you've lost shape, you're out of shape. You're not what you used to be when I first met you. You're not as beautiful as you used to be. This is a woman that is like, 7, 6, almost 9 months pregnant. And you're telling her that she's out of shape? Are you serious? Like, pregnancy generally is a different shape. So of course you're going to be out of shape during pregnancy. And this guy was busy telling my mother how it is that her body don't make sense. My mother did not even have a single stretch mark throughout her pregnancies. And I don't know what food they ate in the 80s and 70s and 60s, but she didn't even have stretch marks on her bum. Our parents, just for whatever reason, our female parents, but back in the day, they don't have the same issues that we have. The food we ate gave us stretch marks on our buttocks. My mom never used to have stretch marks all over her body. All over. She only got them finally with my little sister. And by then she had eaten all the McDonald's that we now were consuming today. Plus she was older. You understand? She had my little sister when she was in her 40s. So you can understand that that's a woman that is bouncing back beautifully. A woman that is carrying beautifully a pregnancy. But that nonetheless was told by her husband, oh goodness, what are you? Oh goodness, you're a walrus, you're a whale. That's a jealous man for you. A jealous man that is not in your league. He doesn't make sense to be in your life. You are bigger and better than that. He will belittle you. And it will be, just a small little tiny slip of these things into your ecosystem. He will tease you, he will diss you, he will highlight issues that you have as an issue, and he will bring you down. He will refuse to validate you in a way that you can't see, because it's, remember, narcissistic personality disorder. It won't be overt, because at the end of the day, he is your husband. So he will still do husbandly things, but he will withhold a lot from you, and on top of that, he will low-key chip away at your confidence. He will chip away at it until there is barely anything left, and you will then end up feeling like you ain't jack in comparison to all other women in these streets. Who in the world wants that for a husband? Who wants to take all that nonsense in their stride? Who? So when I say look out for these things, watch out for the tree because you're Tarzan, I mean it. The narcissistic rando will thoroughly utilize, because he's jealous especially, whatever under heaven it is that could bring you lower. I've never dealt with a narcissistic boyfriend before. Well, I don't know if you want to call this a counting boyfriend count really. The 2 guys that I dated when I was a Christian, the one guy lasted 2 months and the other one lasted like 3 weeks. So I don't even count them as relationships. But if you want to count them, then I guess you can say I've been with 2 narcissists before. But before I came to Christ, I had never dated even a single narcissist, not even one. The guys were considerate of me, and so I never ever was made to feel small and like I faded in the background in the presence of my boyfriends ever. I was never withheld from everything I needed. And then I come to Christ, and next thing I'm out here taking stuff I've never dealt with before. It says that Jesus does not know how to provide, because when I was in the world it was better. It wasn't broken, you try to fix it. Why in the world did I even get saved? Stuff that's trying to make you second guess God. Like, it's just gotta go. So now when you're a woman that's dealing with something that is new, out of nowhere, and you don't know how to deal with it, you don't know how to handle it, you will thoroughly think that it's normal. I may not have ever dated, romantically been in a relationship with a narcissist, but I have had narcissistic friends, and I have a narcissistic mother. And a narcissistic person in your life will never mind withhold compliments, but they will leave you in a bad state. Like, how can I describe it? A narcissistic friend at the mall that notices that you are bleeding, that you have basically gotten an accident on your pants, because it's your first day of your period, will see this and act like they didn't see it, and let you walk around the mall with your pants bleeding, with your body basically, until somebody else is like, hi, sorry ma'am, you might want to cover that with a jersey, you might want to put something over that. And then she's like, oh my goodness, I didn't notice. And then wondering how many people saw me like this. And this friend will then in that moment will be like, oh my goodness, whoa, I also didn't see, friend. I also did not see, acting as if though just because she was walking in parallel, like laterally to you, that she also was in no position to notice behind you that you've got this. But when you stood up from the restaurant where you were having lunch, she saw on the chair that your period blood is there and said nothing, waited for you to walk through the mall with period blood on your pants until somebody else highlighted it. And most people tend to be shy about stuff like that, and so they will let you walk around. So if you're in school The boys, all the boys in your school will see that, oh my goodness, Pinkiki Mola walking around all over the school athletics patch with her period blood all over the show. Until a teacher says, you please go to the bathroom, there's an issue. You can find tampons or pads in the staff room. Yeah, but you use this. Until a teacher highlights it, or another student. But by then you've walked across the matric quad all the way to the other side of school with that issue. That is a narcissist for you. So they will disregard things that are falling apart in your life and not highlight them as an issue. They won't raise something. They will not call you out when you're doing things that ought cause for an intervention in your life. They won't raise them. They will just let you free fall. That's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. That's a narcissist. They will let you free fall. They won't highlight to you what's going on, and if they've got advice because something that they've done has worked for something for in their particular lives that you're now struggling with, they will also withhold that advice. So if, for instance, you've got an issue with acne and benzoyl peroxide has worked for her before, she will keep quiet with her clear skin and not let you know, running you through all different kinds of treatments in the market that are not doing anything for you while you keep on popping all the cystic acne when benzoyl peroxide worked perfectly for her when she has cystic acne. And when you ask her, she will then be like, no, I went to a dermatologist. And when you ask what did the dermatologist give you, knowing that benzoyl peroxide was the one active that actually worked for you, she will then say, I don't know, like King Escamel or salicylic acid, something else. She will not give you the secret that worked for her, the thing that finally worked for her. She will not give you that advice. She will let you struggle. She will wait for you to get finished off. I've had friends like that, and unfortunately my mom, ever since I entered into Christianity, has also been like that. She's let me go whenever certain things were falling apart in my life, and only when I would start to correct them would she then be like, yeah, your skin is improving. But in the run-up to, she would just watch it go and go and go. So I am careful to watch myself. During the time when I was gaining weight because I had stopped exercising, she didn't say anything, not even a single word. However, when I have lost weight, then she's like, "Otokhil." That's a narcissist for you. They literally have it in for you. Do you understand? They don't want you to do well. They will never give you good advice if they have it in their back pocket. And they will also deliberately omit to let you know when something is out of place. They will watch crusty snot come in and out of your nose without telling you wipe your nose. That's a narcissist. So, if at all, narcissist friends can be like that, what then of narcissistic husbands? That is a man that is going to go out of their way to sabotage you. And things that take away from your glory, he will let them happen. Most men want their wives to be kept in shape. Most men want their wives to take care of themselves. Most men want their wives to look the best that they possibly can. Most men want basically to be well represented by the woman in their armpit. But a narcissistic man will not care when you spread like butter on a knife. They won't even highlight it. I will give you an example with this guy from the US. I once got a dream during the time when I was gaining weight because I was not working out. I once got a dream where he was singing Me Pinaya Freshly Ground. That goes, fat thighs, flabby arms, a pot barely still gives good loving. Fat thighs, flabby arms, a pot barely still gives good loving. Whoa, yeah. The dude was on some let her get fat, I don't care. Let her get fat, it does not matter. Because then there will be less men looking at her. Never mind that, but during the time when shortly after being with him, because of how hurt I was following the breakup, so there was a time when I used to dance quite licentiously. I've explained that to you guys, and I had stopped doing that because I was like, okay, so I'm with a guy now, and the two of us agreed that yes, we need to back off from that, because at the end of the day I'm a Christian woman. I was acting out. That's what's good. Because we broke up, went back to that, and the dude did not tap on my shoulder and say, Garabo, at the end of the day you're still a Christian woman, like you need to keep yourself modest, you need to keep yourself ABCD. He watched it happen on some, let other buggers out in the street salivate over you. I cannot daba. Like a man that will throw you into prostitution, or a man that you will basically walk out of the house off at night 12 because you're angry, and he will not follow you on some, a woman should not be outside this late. To him, it's like, if a man raped you, then you will learn your lesson. That's a narcissist. A person that has absolutely no care, is not actually looking out for your better judgment. He's not looking out for your improvement. He's not trying to keep you preserved. He just wants to destroy you. Yes, like, I don't know what I was doing with that guy in the US. I don't know what I was doing. But he showed me flames. And then afterwards, he tried to come back in. So that's a guy that when you have stopped going to the gym, he will notice that you're gaining weight, and not even out of concern, be like, but why have you stopped working out? What's wrong? Are you okay? At the end of the day, don't you want to take care of yourself? I would not want my husband to let me go, guys. Like, I would not want my husband to just watch me spreading, not taking care of myself, increasing my cholesterol, and not talking about it. You papa, there's no care in that. There is no love in that. There is absolutely no love in that. And there is also no room for being offended, because when a person is right, they're right, they're right. I mean, I hope you get my point. I'm not talking here about a dude that's going to tell you go on a diet because of the fact that he just feels like it's his responsibility to control how you eat or how you whatever. But if you come from being very fit, and then next thing all of a sudden you stop, it's a cause for concern. A narcissist will watch you stop working out due to depression, and he'll say nothing because he knows there are ramifications to stopping working out. And those ramifications are that you're gonna gain weight and so be less attractive than you presently are. They're that controlling. It's just so ridiculous. And there are women that are happy to be with men like this, that'll watch you gain weight even though you are a whole gym buff, and rather sing fat thighs, flabby arms, a pot barely still gives good loving. Basically a guy that's like, there are less men out there for me to compete with. If you're fat, less of them will be looking at you. That is an abuser that you cannot take in your stride. So if it's a man and not a woman, I already explained a narcissistic woman. If it's there for these guys, a guy that is that narcissistic against you, yeah. There are other ways that he would abuse you, especially if you are reliant, dependent on him 100% for everything that you need. If you are dependent on him, he will deliberately sabotage you, basically destroy. So if you are think about what it is that I am. I every so often have sections of my ministry where I talk about what I've done for my skin. Every other sections of my ministry I talk about what it is that I've done for my hair, what I'm using, etc. Right? You guys know that I come from a time when I was breaking out violently, acne vibes. Alright? That's clearing. As you can see, my acne is gone completely. All that's left now is fading hyperpigmentation. So I have conquered my acne. When you are with a narcissistic random of that nature, he will enable you, right? When times are good. That's how they punish their victims. That's how they punish the people that they're holding hostage. That's how a guy and a man that is abusive manipulatively, so using spirits against you in other regards. A man that feels entitled to you, a man that has taken you out of your mother's house like a Cinderella, and he is in a position to take care of you 100%, but then refuses that you should work and be okay. He will take you to a dermatologist when you get a breakout on your face. He will pay for your doctor's visit, and he will pay for your prescription. But since you've got acne prone skin, you will for the rest of your life always need something to deal with acne. So he will then use your prescription to handle you when times get a little bit intense in the relationship. In other words, 1 month he will refuse to buy your prescription, or 1 month he will suddenly tell you, if at all he's one of those jealous husbands, like you go to the mall, you don't even know what you've done to him. You go to the mall and some other guy, as you're busy picking out pots for the kitchen, is staring at you. Can't stop looking at you because you're so attractive. And even though you have not stared back at this other man, just how jealous he feels for the glory of his wife, such that another man can stare at her when he's there. He will then punish you for that. On some, maybe if you become a little less beautiful, all these randos in the mall won't stare at you so much. And so he will then pretend that he's come across hard times. And so he won't be able to afford your prescription for your skin for the next 3 months. Meaning that you're gonna have to basically just take in your stride, breaking out again, getting acne again. Whatever it is that you need, he's just gonna neglect it. He will abandon it. He will make excuses, even if he doesn't slap you. Even if it's not an eye turner that beats you up, it's an eye turner in another regard. And the eye turner in another regard is the narcissist that will be miserly in certain parts. Like asking a man for pocket money, asking a man for this and that, asking a man if he can't get you this and that, and then he will tell you, no, maybe next month. Like my mom, I got a prescription from a GP during the time when I had that cough issue. Mara, I got a prescription that was dermatological for my acne too. And my mom was watching my acne just thrive on my face without fixing it. She was watching it just thrive. And when I came back and I told her that I have got a prescription for my acne finally, she refused to get it for me. She got everything else and then told me I will buy it with the 500 rands that she gives me every month. And that prescription in and of itself was $500. So she was saying you're gonna have to choose between everything else that you need, including basic things like tampons, and your prescription. Knowing how irresponsible I am, she was therefore aware of the fact that I will definitely not use that $500 to buy tampons, what do you call this? To buy a prescription for my acne. She knew that I would much rather choose to get everything else that I need, that deals with many more things that I need, instead of just my skin, and that my acne will continue to be an issue. Thankfully, however, in the same month, I went to Chinatown and got recommended that product that I told you guys about that cleared my skin, and it only came at 65 rands. So basically, God cured my acne without that prescription, because he saw that my mother was gonna watch me pop pimples month on month on month, destroying the integrity of my skin barrier, destroying the integrity of my face, risking me with permanent acne scarring into the future, because that's just what a narcissist does. They are so full of sabotage, especially when they envy their victim, that they will put you in a position to suffer want in a way that you can't afford for now, just so they can handle you in some way. So a man, a husband that isn't narcissistic like that, you will tell him, babe, I need my prescription for ABC. Babe, I need that. And the very thing that's helping you stay in shape, your gym membership. If you go to the gym, he will say that he can't afford to pay for your gym membership anymore, so that you would have no way to exercise and so get fat. He will claim that his business has run into some trouble, so he can't afford to buy your prescription meds anymore for your skin, just so you would go back to like having these cystic acne issues on your face. And this will come just after some dude at the mall would not stop staring at you. When you were driving back home, you couldn't understand why he was so passive aggressive, why he was no longer as bubbly as he was on the way to the mall. And this was because he was thinking about some dude that was salivating over you, and because he is insecure about you, given that he did not earn you, but he rather manipulated your presence into his life. Every man that looks at you will always be a threat to him, because of the fact that he is an illegitimate entrant, while other men can actually pursue you and win you without using spurts. And so he will hate the attraction by other men of you, instead of being proud that my woman is that beautiful. And so he will sabotage your beauty. He will cut your gym membership. However, not in the typical way that a child's gym membership, it would be cut by the mother because this child is disrespectful. Or in the way that a child's phone would be taken away because this child is disrespectful. This guy will cut your gym membership by claiming that his business has hit some hard times, that he can't afford certain things, so we're gonna have to scale back. And so your gym membership will fly out the window, and so will your prescription. If you find a way to get that prescription anyway, that's when he's then going to start calling you all different kinds of things like whore. Where did you get the money? Since you are unemployed and you rely on him completely, he can't even fathom that it is possible for you to make it work somehow. He, like, for you to find an alternative stream of income, he will also manipulate that alternative stream of income so that nobody else but him provides for you. This animal from America, when I said, no, I don't want you coming back into my life, like, get out, like, stay gone, he cast a spell to mess with even donations that I would get. For anybody at all that would be happy to help me out, he was like, no one must help her, it must be dry, so I'm the only person helping her along. That level of abuse. And you think it's your husband. I'm just ungrateful. When you cry on some my prescription, I don't have it, I'm breaking out into acne, he'll then be like, you're so ungrateful, what must I do? It's between essentials and non-essentials. At this point, it's between us eating at all. Must, like, you know what, psychological manipulation. He will say then, must we starve so you can fix your skin? Come on, we'll eventually come around back to getting your skincare done when my finances are better. For now, what we need is food. We need basic things catered to. We need to be able to pay for the mortgage of the house. So I like, there's just no leg room. Must I then drive around without a car, without petrol in my car? Must you drive around without petrol in your car? Let's focus on essentials. Come on. So therefore manipulate you financially. He will also, you know how sometimes when it comes to hobos on the street, how you struggle to give them money because you imagine them irresponsible. You struggle to give them money. You would much rather give them a sandwich. You would much rather give them clothes instead of give them money to go and buy these things themselves, because you imagine that maybe they might buy drugs. A narcissist might even end up treating you that way financially. Given that you're always complaining and you're always buying makeup, you're always buying blush and powder, you're always buying lipstick, you're always buying things that are not essential, and we're going through a hard time, he will then insist on either giving you vouchers to get certain things only, or he will monitor your spending to see exactly what you bought with certain money, or he will insist on buying these things yourself. He will ask you for a list to write down on paper and then he will go to the store and buy it yourself so you don't get your prescription anyway when he gives you money. So you don't make sure that you pour rather half a tank of gas and use the rest of the money to get your prescription. That level of manipulation. And people think, Ukutimina, I'm content to go and marry my mother, to go and marry a man that is like my mom, a man that is rationing everything in my life. I would end up committing suicide. I'm frustrated enough with my mom. But at this point, she's not my husband. And so because she's not my husband and I'm waiting on the Lord and she's persecuting me, I'm living a strange life under my family's iron fist rule. Do you understand what I'm saying? But I have hope to get out of here. Plus, it's my family. It's a devil I know. I am working to escape. Do you understand? How in the world do you work to escape a deadbeat husband? That is somebody that you're supposed to leave your mother and father and cleave to for the rest of your lives and become one flesh. That's not something you can easily just get out of, especially not if you left, gloating your ring to your family who treated you like trash that you were Cinderella too. When you leave an environment on some, you treat me like rubbish, so as Cinderella, flailing a ring. Look, somebody proposed marriage to me and he's going to take care of me. How hard it will be then to go back to the very people you were gloating to. You're going to look dumb, pie on your face, and you are also going to look like an ingrate. Remember, he's a narcissist. The whole of your world revolves around him. And so for those reasons, you know his friends. You don't have any friends. You're karabo. You're suffering. So your entire social network is his people. When that's the case, everything that you need and everything that he is enduring you through will be undermined as to the gravity of it. And so you will have nowhere to go. You're just going to be stranded, trapped in the arms of a wicked man that you just have to accept. This is my husband. What can I do? I'm sorry. There's just a plethora of things that can go wrong in a union of that nature. A plethora. And I'm not interested in experimenting in that regard. I'm sorry. I'd much rather be single. Plus, my family, they're a devil I know. I'm not about to go and be with a narcissistic man, especially considering I've never been with one before. I've only ever dealt with narcissists in friends and family members, but I've never dealt with a boyfriend or fiance or lover, anybody in a romantic capacity that is a narcissist. I've never stayed in a union like that, for too long. My relationships with those two narcissists that I dated when I was a Christian, they did not last. Because I just got insulted, I got offended, all different kinds of things that were being done. Plus the guy was rude, mean to me, and then trying to get back together. Like, weird people with strange personalities that I've never settled for, especially in a relationship. And as for the narcissistic friends of the past, I like to sing this song when it comes to wicked people that have really wreaked havoc in my life. I'm way too good at goodbye. I used to walk out. Whenever I would experience narcissism from a friend, I just walked out. Like they would never hear from me. Mengiba zeba. I would suddenly just disappear and not care that they have got qualms with the fact that I didn't call. That's how I was with them. And so if I can't get out, if I can't be good at goodbye, but I'm stranded with some rando because I don't have my own money. Yo, guys, yes, like it. Living in my mom's house at the back of her house, in a shack, being teased by my older sister, being told a degree. I'd much rather deal with that. I would much rather deal with that any day than allow myself to come into the house of some freak that's going to show me flames. Because it's about lawyer. Due to the fact that I am drunk now with affliction. I am drunk now with sorrow. And so as heartbroken as I am, I guess I need to take lots and lots of rubbish in my stride. As heartbroken as I am, I just need to accept that, hey, at least I have my own house. At least I get to say, come visit me at my home. Oh, and then there's the children. At least I get to have children. Just for the sake of fertilizing my eggs, NG. I'm sorry, no. If at all the Lord will not raise up a man and bring him along to marry me that makes sense for me, with whom we can build a future, I anticipate that the only other feasible reason why he has not done that is because the rapture is nigh. The Lord does not want me marrying some narcissist. So this witchcraft that I was woken up from, yeah, I can buy myself flowers, where I'm being mocked by narcissistic personality disorder suffering, witchcraft riddled men who are saying if you won't be with me, then nobody will be with you. It's freaking okay. Like, for crying out loud. Like, it's fine. Because at the end of the day, I'm not under your lordship, random wannabe. I'm under the lordship of Jesus Christ. And if he has seen it fit to keep me single, I will stay single. You terrorist, you. However, if he wants me married, whether or not and you can pounce like an orangutan on the body of a woman, bottom line is, I will get married with your witchcraft in operation. I will have children with your witchcraft in operation. I will get everything I want with the witchcraft in operation. So if at all I don't get what I wanted anyway, with your witchcraft in operation. It just means that is a strong delusion, and God rather intends to rapture us instead of give us breakthrough. There is a perfectly reasonable answer for why under heaven it is that I appear to have no answered prayer, and whatever it is, we will soon find out, won't we? I feel as if though you're about to be, sight some little green men as frequently as you now these days are seeing my natural hair. Because the lawyer so much that there's no way you have not opened portals to bring fallen angels in that will manifest as UFOs. I just feel as if though you're about to see little green men or little grey men with bulbous heads any minute now. Cause you are full of jealousy, you are darkened. And to imagine that you can cast all these spells all over the show, spending exorbitant amounts of money on sangoma fees, just to make sure that a woman never finds love, even though it's anomalous that Hana Lerato, that a woman never gets out from the clutch of mistreatment, that a woman will always sing songs like I can buy myself flowers even though she desperately longs to be loved, a woman that desperately longs to have children, she desperately longs to be part of a family. And however you want her to sing Miley Cyrus's Flowers a song, I'll sing that song until the rapture in like a year or two, maybe even just 2 months. You are naive witches to think you can witchcraft a person into oblivion. Your sorcery doesn't even work 100% on unbelievers. How much better then are Christians able to fight off your rubbish? How much more worthless then is your witchcraft against believers if you can't 100% gain success against unbelievers? You are naive, therefore, when you're looking at a person that seems to be struggling to come up for air, thinking that it's your witchcraft that has kept her in a bunch. Anyone that thinks I'm not married because of them is naive. Anyone that thinks I don't have children because of them is naive. Anyone that thinks I'm unemployed because of them is naive. Anyone that thinks I am struggling at the hands of my family because of them is freaking naive. You are naive. Why? Because the Lord is the one that has seen it fit to put me in a test that would make out of you a fool, a joke. Do you understand? A thing that is obviously anomalous, strange. But after suffering for a little while, the God of all grace will restore me to everything I need, lacking in nothing. And so when I get my breakthrough, that's when you all are going to look super dumb. If anything, you're going to be the ones that look like bulbous heads aliens walking around among us. Weird little creepy freaks that are thoroughly not supposed to be in our atmosphere, our stratosphere, our ecosystem, but you live among us. You're going to look like animals, do you understand? Witches, you're going to look like animals. You're going to look beastly. You're going to look vibrantly abusive. You are going to look like terrorists. You're going to look like those freaks from Gaza that broke into Israel on the 7th of October and chopped babies into half and then burnt them. That's what you're going to look like. However, strangely, just like Hamas, you will have for yourselves, you will garner for yourselves some support, because there will always be hatred of Christians across the world that is inordinate. So just because you have people that are happy to go and wave a Palestinian flag after some random terrorist cuts up a baby in two, does not mean that what you have done is acceptable. The world is currently in a trance and they're not seeing the way that they see. They are not seeing the way that they ought to see. So when you rock up and you just butcher innocent people, when you just rape women in the streets and flail, parade, all that debauchery, you are just a beast that unfortunately lives in a society that considers good evil and evil good. You are getting away with murder in the midst of a people group that are like mindless drones, salivating after the blood of people because they're zombies. You are literally like nothing, like you're just like terrorists, barbarians, uncivilized, and entirely just barbaric. It's all you are. For the fact that I am sitting in this position suffering as just virulently as I currently am is only evidence of your barbarism more than it is evidence of my affliction as a victim under that particular barbarism. It just displays how wicked you are. It's that basic. I had yet another dream this past night of that random Indian girl that betrayed me from MTN, telling somebody that she's got 3 kids, looking at me like I'm a barren woman. All she is Penina, a woman that's busy popping babies for her husband while I'm struggling to get mine. We know what happens with Penina in 2nd Hannah, right? And in First Samuel 2. Hannah sings a song of praise that she finally bore 7 children after some woman teased her and spoke literally way too freaking soon. Some woman rocked up and spoke way too early, mocking her for being infertile. And God opened her womb and she would not stop popping those babies. So that random Indian female is today a Penina that is able to pride herself in the fact that she closed all of my gates and I could move nowhere. I am not under anybody's trap or spells. Do you understand? I am under God's grace. And I am under God's trials and testings, and I will come out of this okay. Whatever is going to happen, be it the acquisition of everything I've ever wanted or the rapture, bottom line is the day in court is coming for the wicked. Your comeuppance is coming. The fact that you can sit around looking like barbarians having destroyed an innocent woman's life and then acted as if though it was normal what happened to her, didn't even like rock up and make a phone call, you didn't even do anything at all to comfort her. You all just like tarried away from her like a woman that is encircled by what, hundreds of people. And then next thing she loses everything and not even one phone call. Not even one person is trying to find out what's going on. No one is trying to hug her. You're just gonna look like jealous freaks on that day. You're gonna look like nothing but a bunch of saboteurs, do you understand? You're just going to look like freaks of nature. So just because there's anomalous activity going on in the room does not mean you're successful. It just means for a season you managed to stink up the room and everybody fainted temporarily from insanity because you gassed the room. But once people recover and they breathe some fresh air, they will realize that some terrorist has unleashed a stank bomb, and now all of us were temporarily being the operative word, dizzy. I'm under no one's spells. And to think you can successfully truly block a Christian is especially naive. We belong to the one true God. I am nobody's side piece, second wife, placeholder. I am no man's third wife. I am no woman's handled thing. And oh, lastly, I am not barren. Just wait if at all the Lord will give me a husband and watch me fall pregnant on the wedding night. The way I'm so fertile. You literally speak too soon. Is that basic? You speak too soon because the person is suffering. In the end, you're gonna basically hang on the very same gallows that you set apart for me to hang in. Just like Haman in the Bible. You will hang in the same gallows you set apart for Mordecai to die in. That's what this is. So thank you very much for basically creating for me a table in the presence of my enemy that God promised me he would create. I'm building a case, and a pretty strong one at that. And wicked people, understand, since you're ruling and reigning these days, everybody is giving you praise. You are surviving with all of your evil. The Bible says that when a wicked ruler reigns, the people mourn. I apologize for the speech lag. I'm almost done anyway. When a wicked man rules, the people mourn. They cry. But when a righteous man takes on the reins, they rejoice. So evil men, you are naive to think that South Africa is content and comfortable with the fact that you are running the show. The fact that you are heads of states. The fact that you are our prime ministers and our premiers. The fact that you are running our organizations as CEOs and the like. The fact that your children are the ones that are getting into universities even though they have not qualified. The fact that your kids are the ones getting internships into corporates in South Africa even though they have not interviewed well. The fact that you can slip bribes underneath tables and so therefore be heralded and accoladed. At the end of the day, the nation that is trying to be honest is grieving because you are in power. Wicked people. No one likes it when you're in power. So whatever it is that you're getting away with right now, it is only because people fear being the first one to stand up in front of a wicked ruler to basically highlight how wicked they are. But on the day a revolution rises up, on the day people turn around, on the day people decide to change their minds, on the day when people say enough is enough, when they're hurtful, on that day, that's when you're going to realize no one even liked you. There was a girl, go MTN, that was lackluster, absolutely rigid of talent, that managed to scoot me out the way alongside 2 other project managers just so she could look like she's the best one. When you have got to squeeze out people so you can look good, honey, on that day you're going to be a snare to your company, aren't you? Because you're not truly productive, you're not truly efficacious, you're not truly delivering, are you? And so therefore your organization is going to suffer from a lack of talent since you're all they have. The mediocre thing you are is all they have. So your company will stand to benefit on the day justice against you is essentially raised up from the ground. Because that means they're going to get to finally start hiring talented staff instead of having to settle for whatever the heck you are. That chick today, if she's still at MTN, is a snare to the company because she sucks in comparison to people she kicked to the curb. I could go on. In whatever other space you might find these people, random interns that are going to be the future of a company that have not properly earned their keep, but are nonetheless working, earning salaries, while the best girl for the job is struggling to get into a learnership program because they failed the job interview that they were supposed to get, given that somebody else was squeezed in at their expense, even though they were the better person. So the future of the country is compromised. Corporate South Africa is looking really tarnished. It's mediocre. There is a skills exodus because truly good people are leaving, given that they feel burdened by having to carry the weight of these dead meats. This dead weight all over the show, full of these mediocre randos that are bewitching everybody out of a career so they can stay in the job. When you're truly good, working among dead weight, you will ultimately allow yourself to be a diaspora in Europe. You will let yourself be a diaspora in America because it's just hard to work as a truly successful, hard-working person in South Africa when your colleagues give a loy. Everybody is always just trying to squeeze you out. It makes it really hard for you to work when you actually want to be genuinely good at what you do. So, South Africa, I don't even know what your corporate look like. I don't know what your skills set looks like. I don't know what your innovation looks like. I have no clue. When all this witchcraft is going on all over the show, and the people you are promoting are this bewitched, and the people that you are promoting are this bewitching, when the whole country is under a trance because of your Satanists, I don't know how actually truly skilled and successful your job, your corporates are. But that's just the thing. When there is no barometer by which to compare, you would think it's normal. So if everybody in the building, or if everybody is dizzy from witchcraft, you will not know that you're not doing well. Because what in the world and the heaven do you have to compare it to? I would implore you, South Africa, to start comparing how badly or how well you are doing today with how badly or how well you did 11 years ago, 10 years ago, just before I lost my job, before people started losing their jobs in Jeffela just because you can raise up false, like strange, trumped up charges against an innocent woman and get her suspended from her job, even though she did nothing wrong, and get her fired because some jealous colleague decided in Jeffela to bewitch her because she's jealous of her career. Compare South Africa in 2013. It's 2023, 10 years ago. Go back to 2023 and compare your organization's performances against 2023, because that's when all this nonsense started happening in the country. Go back like R. Kelly and turn back the hands of time and do a comparison even on your share prices, the growth of your organizations, and see that today you are struggling to realize how flatlining you are or how much on an exponential decline you are because you're literally comparing witches to witches. You are comparing two devil worshippers in the office together. You are comparing the Satanese two. You are comparing two mediocre randos that, frankly, somebody sitting at home doing nothing, gathering dust, exceeds them both. But she's struggling to get a job because what's about lawyer and they know how to bewitch the whole damn company, those rodents. Compare your lackluster staff complement to Garabo and not each other. That's when you're going to realize how far from grace you have fallen as a country. Compare all of y'all's project managers at MTN with me. Do not compare them with each other. Compare them with me. Then you will see just how far from glory you have fallen as an entire country. There is no comparing. But anyway, you hope that I will settle when all I see is an impending alien invasion, because how in the world is that not even a thing? Given that you keep on bewitching every hole in the cosmos to get bigger so fallen angels can pop through. If at all men can pride themselves in keeping an entire viable, wonderful woman single, that promising that she will buy her own flowers and hold her own hand if she doesn't want to be with them. If you can pride yourself in being able to manipulate a person's future like that, I'm sorry, you deserve the tribulation. You deserve the end of the world. You deserve to be compared against somebody 10 years ago, because you can no longer compare yourselves against each other in the present space, because the only people that are thriving in the country at present are ditweba tse loyang le kgathaditse batho ba bang around. You are exhausting anyone who's loying. Wonke umuntu that's not into witchcraft is dizzy in the company, and the only ones that are able to jump up and down on a trampoline, ke ba loyi. Ay suga. It is no wonder the country's junk status. It is no wonder we have been devastated. It is no wonder this nation is falling apart. It is no wonder we've got these power cuts. It is no wonder we've got this gender-based violence. How in the world are you not going to have a country that's literally in free fall when every second dude and girl, every third and fourth guy in the office? How do you expect the country not to fall apart? How did you think that the country would be okay with you being the worst candidate for the job, yet you successfully get it anyway because it's a lawyer? How's that even okay? You can't do the job, somebody else can. But you are just sitting in that chair, twirling on it because you got the job promotion, even though you suck at what you do. How in the world under heaven do you anticipate the country is going to be okay in the future looking like that? You're naive. I'm standing out in Christ's name, Cran K.